Shalom family, this is Solo Soul, also known as Coach Arthur. This is part 2 of my travels to Africa alone. Make sure you stay tuned at the very end of the video. I'm going to give you some more views of my Airbnb upstairs. So on the second week, I decided to check out this other property about 3 hours south, might as well say 4 hours south of Dar es Salaam. The challenge with getting to this property, we drove in on the main road. I stayed up for the most part of the ride, but the last 2 hours maybe, I was knocked out. So I don't know about y'all, when the wheels hit the pavement, for me, I was knocked out. So we got off of this on this clay road, trying to get into some property that I found online, met up with the seller, got a driver and the seller's friend, and let me go ahead and tell you now, the seller gave us no warning about the terrain. We're in a small car, so that's what we kind of like easing through. And this is rainy season, so this clay road kind of breaks apart in areas, and it's like really hard on a car. So it just blew my mind that the seller did not give us kind of a heads up on the terrain. He was so ready for us to get out and see the property. Basically, he's ready to sell the property. He really don't care how we get there. He's like, by all means or any means, let's get out to this property. So this rainy season in Tanzania is pretty nice. You know, you see how fertile the land and how the moisture is nice. On these bodas, seeing these guys with these big stacks of charcoals just kind of blew my mind. And if you don't know, bodas are the motorcycles that you see all throughout, some of my videos, and I kind of use those for my main means of transportation because the bodas are real affordable. So this is a new settlement. It's 3 hours south of Dar es Salaam. The local government paved this road out to this land because they want people to kind of settle in this area, and you can see already the views are breathtaking, and I was just loving it. I was nervous the entire time about this car. As you can see, we're moving slow again because this clay road is just like rough. So you see another boda with another stack of charcoals, and I don't know how this brother made it. He had to get some help, getting up because it's so wet and it's like falling apart. So that was the amazing part about Tanzania, man. People work hard, and it was just amazing to see how hard people grind, like by any means necessary. Like, y'all blessed, man. It is a beautiful thing. So as we got further into the property, or getting to the property, the roads got wetter. Like literally, even like small Jeeps and trucks were getting stuck. We were going past like people left and right that was like stuck and couldn't figure out a way around. So the seller, man, I was kind of irritated that, as we get further and further, we like, how much further we got to go in? He was like, only about 15 minutes. Man, 15 minutes turned into another hour. And then we say, well, how long, how much longer we got? About 20 more minutes. And I'm like, bro, you just said it was about 10 minutes. So I don't know if the concept of time for him was just like off. He was very determined to get us to this property. Now, our driver was so motivated, y'all bless him, because he was like really pushing on, like no matter what. And I was like, bro, you finna take your car through this puddle? And he was like, yeah, man, we good. We gonna make it through. And I'm like, it's no way we good. Do you see this puddle? It just, I mean, I was determined as well to get to the property, but I was also nervous about his car being, damaged on the way. Like, I'm like, bro, like, I need you to drive us back, 3 to 4 hours back to Dar es Salaam so I can have your car, like, broken down out here. So we finally get to a point. As you see, these bodas are able to kind of pass through along the side. They create these little side trails whenever the roads are like messed up and flooded. So you see how this man's car is like about underwater? I'm telling you, like, it was 3 or 4 puddles like
video,
this.
we can look back.
So yeah, I was just pushing on y'all. I'm gonna say that. Like, today was a hard one. But this local plant, I cannot remember what the name is. The seller mentioned that it was something that the locals really use, because as you can see, you'll see further when we get into the property, so you'll see it all along. So this is where it gets a little crazy. We go into further onto a boda because the car couldn't make it. I met the local chief. The seller decides to take me into the property to show me a stream that was flowing, so he can kind of give me a better feel of kind of what we'll be taking on, and the beauty of the land. So he showed me some clear parts, and I'll show you that a little bit later. But when he took me into the bush, I'm thinking and trusting that this man knows how to get us out. But you know what? Something told me, that discernment say, drop a pin on the road, Art, because this guy may not know how to get back. Lo and behold, y'all, we were lost for about 45 minutes in the bush. This man didn't know where he was going. Man, he was real nice and real optimistic. My phone service was bad. The driver ended up calling to see if we were all right, because we went ahead on a boda while the driver stayed behind with his car, because the roads were just too bad and too flooded for him to even come even further into the property. So literally we were turned around in this bush. He telling me about the property. All I'm thinking is, bro, like, am I gonna have to put some hands on you or something? Like, you gonna have to get me out of this bush. I'm like, do you know where you going? Then that's the American coming out of me. So I humbled myself, man. I'm like, chill, Art. It ain't that serious. You gonna make it out. So lo and behold, we made it out. He showed me the cleared part of the 10 acres, and it was beautiful. Again, I don't remember what this plant was. At this point, I'm trying to be nice and trying to not be frustrated, but I'm gonna be honest, I was very frustrated and I was ready to go. But all in all, I was just excited to be in Africa. So yeah, I'm gonna just say that I'm not going into the bush without tying a string around my arm, my leg, or around a tree, and I'm holding on to it as I'm going into the bush. Do not go into the bush alone without a plan. Do not have somebody take you into the bush. I'm just saying. It was pretty nice though, y'all. I'm gonna be honest. There's nothing but farmers out there and chickens running and maybe some black-faced monkeys. It was real nice. Nothing too crazy. So the next day I decide that I'm gonna chill in the city, and I decided to move to another Airbnb. Now, mind you, Airbnbs are really affordable here in Tanzania. My first Airbnb was about $24 a night, and it was a shared space. So if you don't mind sharing the space, you can kind of save some money. I was alone, didn't have my wife or my kids. So my second Airbnb was in Mbezi Beach, and it was about $31, I want to say. And it was like a studio type feel, but I would say it was like a one bedroom, because the bedroom and the kitchen was pretty separate. So this day I just kind of drove around on the boda. I stopped at some local shops, and I love Mbezi Beach. It's such a laid back, beach type feel, city area. Where my Airbnb was, it was pretty close to everything. I had like a pharmacy, some little restaurants around, like a restaurant like literally right next door to the entrance of the property. So I stayed at like a type of compound where a family had a local shop. So I made it back to my Airbnb on the boda, you can see, and it was pretty nice to finally just get back home and chill. So this property had their local shop to the left, and then they had like a 2-story apartments, 2 apartments upstairs, 2 apartments downstairs. I stayed upstairs. It was pretty chill. And then later on that day, I went out to Bagamoyo and checked out another 10 acres that was like nice, like not too crazy of terrain to get to, which I enjoyed and I appreciated. I was like thanking y'all for like getting me back from that bush experience. So this was my second time going out to this property, and this is the day that I kind of like got to see the full layout. I was pretty comfortable with driving out here, and I didn't feel like I was gonna get lost in the bush. So on the way to this property, it's a couple villages, which is pretty nice. So many coconut trees, pineapple trees, so many banana trees. Like, again, I saw some animals. I couldn't identify them, to be honest. They was moving too fast, and I was too excited again to be in Africa. So I felt pretty comfortable, being that this is like my second week. Going into my third week, I was like, good. I'm like, I'm here. Like, I live here basically. Like, I literally was like making my way around without anybody, and I felt really comfortable. Got some amazing views. The sky was just like different here to me. Like, I kept looking at the sky. I'm like, these clouds are just so majestic. Like, what is it? I'm telling you, do y'all see these skies? I'm telling you, the air and everything was different here. All right, fam. So after checking out this property, I made my way back to my Airbnb, and I literally just was thanking y'all for like walking with me step by step. Like, every day of being in Africa, I just asked y'all to just guide me and walk with me because I didn't understand what I was doing. So we made it back to the Airbnb. So the kitchen was very well laid out. The living area was, modern and nice. Again, I already spoke about these views, and I'm telling you, the views for this Airbnb at the PSPF Twin Towers. So go on Airbnb, check it out. You can book the top floor, you can book the entire unit, or you can book some of the shared space. It was $24 a night for just a room. So upstairs, there were 3 bedrooms, and each bedroom had a view. So you get these views from the dining area, but the views upstairs were like on point. So upstairs, 2 of the bedrooms had to share this restroom, and there was 1 bedroom with a walkout balcony, and that was this room. And I didn't get this room, by the way. It was a couple here when I got to the room. So they got a balcony overlooking the port, and my room was right next door. And I got, pretty decent view. I had a good view of the port as well. I had a lot of space. This room was very spacious. So I had a good view. So I would keep that window open most of the day, sometimes even in the evening. So thank you, fam. Go ahead and subscribe, like, and share. There will be a part 3. I'm going to break this up into 4 parts. So stay tuned.